How's it going, YouTube? So I had to pull down this video because after I watched another video about the New York City SUV road rage motorcycle thing, shed a lot more light on the actual details of what was happening. And so I wanted to repost and kind of update my thoughts on that based on seeing this guy's video. I will put down below, I'll put in the description of the video here, the link to this guy's video, and I highly encourage you. I think it's 7 minutes long, maybe 8 minutes long, but he does a great job, and I'm not going to steal his thunder, but of going step by step through the video from the New York City SUV road rage thing that happened, that I'm sure by now you've heard about. And he just breaks down the video and talks about some things I hadn't really considered, because originally I was completely on the side of the SUV. I thought that the guy was basically being swarmed and like stuff thrown at his car and he felt in danger and yada yada yada. Well, so as more and more of these bikers come to testify and they go on the news, and I'm not trying to defend anybody, but it is curious to me that the driver of the SUV hasn't come forward yet. He won't make any type of a statement. He won't come online. He won't interview. But I've seen at least 3 or 4 different bikers on interview. Plus, there's 2 undercover police officers now, and it's just that causes me to raise some curiosity of the whole situation. I mean, as soon as these guys come online and they're doing these interviews like on CNN, and I see all these racially motivated comments about the individuals in this quote-unquote gang, which they weren't a gang, and if you watch this guy's video, you'll see why they weren't a gang. It was part of some flash mob situation, and there's even like guys with girls riding on the back. Like, they look like high school kids with their high school girlfriends on the back of their bikes. I don't know if you know any gangs that bring girls to their gang fights or whatever. Doesn't seem like... Anyhow, that's a totally off topic. Anyhow, so my real thoughts are that before you get into the video that everybody's seen, think about why the camera came on in the first place at that time. And again, if you watch this other guy's video that I'm going to put the link on, he'll break it down for you. He basically does a really good job of explaining why the camera came on. And it's coming out that there was debris being thrown from the SUV at the bikers, that the SUV driver was not maintaining his lane as it was swerving at, and actually hit a biker before this guy turned on his camera. And that's actually what caused him to turn on his camera, was that this guy was acting erratic. The guy in front of him, let's make no bones about it, he definitely was slowing down. Now, he didn't hit his brakes, so all you idiots that I've seen on other videos that are like, he hit his brakes, blah, blah, blah. He actually doesn't hit his brakes. If you look at his brake light, which is the indication that he's got brakes on, he never turns it on. All he does is turn off his throttle, which, if you've driven a standard car or you've driven a motorcycle, if you take your hand off the throttle, the bike dives down and it slows quickly. Well, for you to turn around, keeping in mind, motorcycles don't have rear view mirrors. They have side mirrors that look back. But if somebody's directly behind you, it's impossible to see them, because where you need to be looking is where your body is. So you have to turn around. And to do so, you have to usually let off at least of the throttle. You're not going to hit the throttle. Now, I'm not defending that. I still think the guy was going slow. I think his intention was to slow the vehicle. So I don't know why he's made up a weird story about that. So I don't want to get into the minutia of that, because we're both going to agree on it, that the guy was trying to slow him down. Now, was he trying to slow him down because of an earlier incident and the guy wouldn't stop and they wanted to trade insurance information? I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm reading from other bloggers and sources and things like that, is that this guy was trying to take control of the situation, trying to slow the vehicle down so that they could talk to this guy, essentially. And so, keeping in mind, so let's say that is true, and that's why the guy isn't coming forward, then if he hits a motorcyclist and he doesn't stop, because that's an accident, and accidents happen, no big deal. So if he doesn't stop, you're in a motorcycle, you can't call 911. I love the people that are like, if they were in danger, they should have called 911. You're on a motorcycle. Your hand is on the clutch, it's on the brake, and you're in a helmet. You can't call 911. You're clearly never ridden a motorcycle before, if that's the comment you made. Hence why motorcyclists, they're in fear half of the time that they're around vehicles, because they, quite frankly, don't have any way to protect themselves. The guy who slows down in front of a car, that's just a bad idea in the first place. There's only one person in that situation with a weapon of destruction, and that is the SUV. Bike might be loud and sound loud, but I'm all for loud pipes, because that ensures that cars know that you're there. I can't tell you how many times I've been swerved in front of and somebody's like, oops, sorry, my bad, I didn't see you there. Is there a response? And I'm like, yeah, you almost killed me. So yeah, I'm going to have a loud pipe, and people are like, I hate motorcycles because they have loud pipes. It's like, well, turn your stereo down, get off your cell phone, and maybe we wouldn't have to have loud pipes. Anyhow, that's not really the direction I'm trying to take this conversation, but just food for thought. They're not in a gang. I think that's a really important thing to point out, because I feel like there's a mob mentality from the car riding community. Keep in mind, most motorcyclists, they ride in cars too. But just because these motorcycle riders are riding together doesn't mean that anything was actually happening. And if these guys are trying to pull through this vehicle to try to get him to exchange insurance and stuff like that, what are they supposed to do? That's the one thing I would love for a suggestion from. Because that guy's in a car with air conditioning, his windows are tinted, so they might not even have been aware that there was somebody in the back of the vehicle, aka his daughter or whatever that's coming out that was in the car. So if you don't know that there's a daughter in the car, you don't even know that you're in that situation in the first place. But there's also information that the only reason the vehicle stopped at all was because he punctured a tire when he rode over the bike, when he, hit that guy. And that's just insane too. I'm saying the whole situation's bad. I'm not trying to necessarily defend anyone, but I want people to watch this guy's video that I watched, and again, I'll put the link down in the bottom. But it quite literally is, it hurts me as a person to know the hate that people have in their heart for another person that they don't know, and that they don't have any idea of the scenario that really was going on. So don't be racist and prejudiced towards bikers in general. And I say race because you don't really truly know if somebody's in gloves, leather jacket, long pants, boots, and a full helmet. You don't know they're white, black, brown, yellow, green, whatever. So bikers are treated as a whole as just their own race. So I'm using that term, and I know it's not probably accurate, but that's kind of how it feels. And there's profiling going on by police now. Anyhow, long story short, watch this other guy's video. I think it's just an incredible video. If nothing else, hopefully it just gives you more to the real story that's happening versus what CNN will tell you. And CNN, since all this other information's coming out, you notice that story hasn't been back on headlines yet, and you haven't heard anything from anybody about this since, I think, October 12th was the last thing I saw about this from the actual national media. So it was their fun buzz story, now they're over with it. And meanwhile, all these car drivers think that now motorcyclists are crazy and they're all going to try to hit me and back up and run me over again, which is just insane. I mean, who's the mob mentality in that group? I'm just riding a motorcycle. I can't even hurt your car. If I hit you with a motorcycle, I'm the one who's hurt. So I don't even understand this whole they were endangered thing. If it comes out that these guys had guns, they had knives, and they were yelling at the vehicle, and they caused it all, then, dude, absolutely, that guy has every right to defend himself and get away from the situation. But I think we all know that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And even so, most of these guys have full face shields on. He wouldn't know if they're smiling or laughing or making a mean face at him. You can't see people's mouths. You can't see anything below their nose. So I think he panicked. I think he freaked out. He misjudged the situation, and he panicked. And when you panic, you just need to stop and gain control in your composure. If I panic because I'm frustrated at a mall or I get claustrophobic and I start trampling people or hurting people, I should be held liable for my actions because I over-exaggerated the incident. That's honestly my field. Like, trying to go one way or another. I'm not really trying to defend either group. I'm honestly not, because I am a motorcycle rider and I am a car rider. Should he have slowed the vehicle down? No. But if what's coming out is that this car hit somebody earlier and didn't pull over, didn't see if the guy was okay, and kept driving, then what do you do? If it's you and you're walking down the street and a car hits you, wouldn't you hope one of the other cars would chase after that guy and beat the shit out of him for you if you got hit as a pedestrian walking across the street? I mean, what do you do? I mean, I feel like this guy hits somebody, runs away, and then you'll notice that the guy who hits the windshield and everything like that, that's actually a guy, the second time they stop him, he actually hits that bike and knocks that bike over, and that's the guy who races up to him and starts bashing on the windshield. So, I mean, what would you do if a car tried to hit you and then leaves and doesn't stop, doesn't check to see if you're okay, and you can catch up to him? Wouldn't you beat the crap out of that dude? I mean, I would. But anyhow, that's definitely got enough information out there for you guys to comment, to get your hair all standing up on end for those of you who disagree with me. But I think, do watch this other guy's video, and let's have a serious conversation if we choose to on comments here. Please try to keep the commentary above bar, for whatever that means. Throwing racial epithets and slurs is not going to help anybody move forward, and does nothing to help us understand each other as people. And in fact, it speaks to me that you probably are not very intelligent yourself. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it, at least if nothing else, you go check out that other guy's video, and with knowledge comes powers. Ride safe. If you're just a car rider, please do try to look out for motorcyclists. I volunteer every weekend. I work at the Ronald McDonald House. I work at the Sierra Club and do inner city outings, and also work with international refugees committees. I've never been arrested, no tickets, no anything on my record. I pay my taxes. I am an executive at a company, and I'm probably like 90% of the people who ride. So please don't think about all bike riders as gang members and things like that. It's just, frankly, it's just not accurate, and you're better than that. Anyhow, ride safe, be good. Later.